So an epidural is not a risk-free procedure. They're generally very safe and they mostly go really well and they work really well. But the risks are sometimes they don't work. You put in an epidural and there could be septations in the epidural space that stop the medication from bathing around the epidural space. So they don't work that well. Sometimes you got to do them again. That's a risk, having to redo it. Having bleeding around the nerves and the spinal cord that can cause spinal cord compression and that can damage the nerves. That's a risk. Actual hitting the spinal cord with a needle is a risk. It's rare, and when you do a lumbar epidural, it's virtually zero because you're going below the level of the spinal cord. But having other nerve damage is a risk. Having an infection, like a meningitis, like infection seeding to the epidural space is a risk. And then having a post-dural puncture headache, where we accidentally go a little bit too far and your cerebral spinal fluid can leak out of the spinal sac and it can come into the epidural space, and that can cause a headache, which recovers in about a week. It's not fun. It's not fun. I'm not saying that. There are risks. All these things I'm talking about are very, very rare. The post-dural puncture headache is a little more common than the other things. These things are quite rare, but they are a possibility. And your anesthesiologist should talk with you about risk benefit. You don't have to do this. What are the alternatives? That's part of informed consent.